Throughout my years as a guitar instructor, I've encountered the same scenario time and time again. A beginner or intermediate guitar player has got a few chords together, likely open chords in first position. They're fairly proficient with strumming these chords, and they understand how to use a capo to relocate those chord shapes to a different point on the neck of the guitar. And by doing so, change the key to match the song they're playing, or maybe to better suit the range of their voice. However, the observant player will notice that everything starts to sound the same, kind of homogenous and stale. Yeah, we're playing in a different key, but it doesn't really feel any different. This is because the player is missing a few key concepts. The first is the idea of chord inversions. In other words, rearranging the order of the notes in the chord. The second is voice leading. This is kind of a fancy term for how the notes of one chord move into the notes of the subsequent chord. And the third concept is maybe a bit of a misnomer, which I'll talk about later, the idea of chord melody playing. In other words, you can provide the melody of a song and the harmonic accompaniment simultaneously on the same instrument. Now, a lot of singer-songwriter types will strum chords, providing the harmony, and sing the melody, which is great and a lot of fun and usually appropriate. However, we need to put a little bit of thought and consideration and awareness to the melodic component of how our chords are moving. Let's take a look at a couple examples. For these examples, we're going to use three very common chords that most guitar players know. A C major chord, an F major chord, and a G7 chord. However, we're going to use different voicings. Specifically, we're going to reduce each chord down to just 3 notes, played on 3 individual strings. This technique is something I like to call small guitar. By reducing the redundancy of the notes in the chord, we should be able to better hear how one chord moves into the next. In other words, how each individual note moves, or in some cases, doesn't move. So while we have our, you can certainly finger this classic C chord, we won't be using our third finger, right? We're just playing strings 2, 3, and 4. Should sound like this. E, G, C. So this is a C chord in the first inversion, meaning that E is our lowest note, G is in the middle, and C is on top. Our second chord is F, and it's in root position. This is kind of, you could maybe think of this as maybe the inside of this full bar chord. F, A, C. And our final chord is G7. Now, some of you may know that a 7th chord indicates that there are 4 unique notes in this chord. And if we're playing only 3 strings or 3 notes, something's got to go. So we're going to have F, 3rd fret of 4th string, G, open 3rd string, and B, open 2nd string. So we are excluding the D note that is part of a G7 chord. Okay, if we put these chords together, we should hear how each individual note flows into the next. We can think of each string as its own unique voice. So the B string the G string, and finally the D string. Now that we've identified the type of voicings we're using, we can start to move these shapes in a lateral way up and down the neck. Now we'll still stay on strings 2, 3, and 4, or the second string set, but we're going to start moving around a bit more. We have C, D minor, that's F, 3rd fret of the 4th string, A, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and D, 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Now we can take this exact same shape, move it up 2 frets, and we have an E minor. And we can also play an F in the first inversion. That's A, C, and F, or 7th fret of the 4th string, 5th fret of the 3rd string, and 6th fret of the 2nd string. Maybe we add a G chord in here, or a G7 chord. We can also begin to start adding some individual notes in between our chord changes to create a bit of a melody. Take some time and experiment with this. See if you can create a simple melody just on the B and maybe the E string between your C chord, your F chord, and your G7 chord. Give it a try. It's easier than you think. Okay, so how do we use these chord voicings? Here's a short example. You might recognize this song. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Earlier I said the term chord melody was kind of a misnomer, and in some ways it is. Sure, if you're representing the melody of the song and the chord progression or the harmony simultaneously on the same instrument, yeah, that's generally thought of as chord melody playing. However, even if you're not playing the melody of the song, if you're using proper chord inversions and you're mindful of your voice leading, you will always have melodic chord changes. You could isolate just one string of your chord progression and just play those notes, and it should be a coherent, logical melody. Yay! All right, friends, that's it for today. The most important thing I can leave you with is experiment with this on your own. Instead of just seeing or thinking about C major or F major or G7 or any other chord as the static shape that we just grab on the guitar and always play, break it down. Try playing just 3 strings of that chord. See what happens. You'll find that the chord movement or voice leading from one chord to the next will be much more melodic and much more interesting and open up a ton of possibilities. All right, bye.